Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another Fool's Gold review of the Future State titles. And here we go in these titles that we are going to be covering Harley Quinn and Swamp Thing issue 1. As you can see on the side here of how I do my rating and how much I think the story is worth, there is the currency conversion as to what I pay for my local comic store. So let's get started to the beginning of the review, starting off with Harley Quinn. Now, moving into the cover of Harley Quinn, it didn't really match up a lot in regards to what happened inside art-wise, and in this it really scored quite low. It got 6 out of 10. To which I think the cover is worth about $1.25. So let's move into the internal art. Now, this internal art, I totally agree. This would probably work well in regards to, say, an animated series or an animated film, as I've heard some people mention, and I do agree with it. I like the way how it's set out. The artist definitely has some talent here, and I do enjoy this. Now, this is towards the beginning of the story. Let's move to something around mid to end. As you can see, it does actually keep to some form of consistency within the story, and I really like the art. And that's why I gave the art in this a 7.5 out of 10. But I believe for what it's worth, it's about $1.50 Australian. Now to move on to the story. Now with this story, we've got Harley Quinn, Crane, who is Scarecrow. We've got Roman, who is Black Mask, and Professor Pig, to which there are some appearances. And in the story, we've got Harley Quinn being asked to be a snitch to help capture some criminals for the magistrate. It did, but didn't quite work. And the story could have been a little bit more stronger. Is she actually giving him the locations so she can maybe get in good on the magistrate and then maybe go full villain on the magistrate? We just don't know right now, and we still don't have a lot of details as to who the magistrate is. Right, we've got an understanding of some of the magistrate system, some of the locations that we go to is the St. Evangeline Orphanage. And of course, this beginning one, it's not very clear in regards to the location as to where Harley is. It gives off the impression that it might be Arkham Asylum, but because the writer did not point out where Harley actually was, it makes it difficult to determine. And that's another place where it actually lost points. The story is very mediocre. And this is why it scores a 5 out of 10, to which I think the story is worth $1. Time to move on to Swamp Thing. As we begin to move on to Swamp Thing, this cover I found really interesting. And this cover is, the way it's done, is also connected to something that happens within the story. To which I believe the cover is worth, in rating, a 6 out of 10. How much do I think, rating-wise? Or how much do I think it's worth? About $1.25. So let's move into the internal art, as it came off giving off a very dark feeling, like throughout the whole story. Now, don't get me wrong, there was definitely some pretty art in here, and I liked what was done with the characters, including someone who we meet in this panel. Of course, we've got this Swamp Thing's daughter, and he actually tells a bit of a story to it, and I really like that in story. And that will be addressed later. So let's move to art around the mid section. Now, with what the artist has done here, it comes off as very clever, and I like what they've done. It's using parts of the human anatomy and sort of like, in a way, connecting it to the green. And I thought that was really clever on the artist's job. But in some places, it didn't quite help the story. To which I will stop there and now move on into the rating for the art. The rating for the art, I also gave it a 6. How much do I think the story's worth? $1.25. Now, how much do I think the art is? $1.25. Moving on to the story. Some of the places that we see within the story. One looked to be New York. And of course, north of Eureka at Nunavut. A little bit difficult to say, but I got what the artist was trying to do. It was nice to see the main character move out of where they were. And it was nice in the world building that they brought here. Now, with the cast, we've got Swamp Thing, Indigo, who was a bit of a pain in the ass to him, and always wanting to bring up the issue of truth. And Swamp Thing didn't quite want didn't want to listen to what he had to say as what he sort of saw as his truth. We, of course, had Heather and a character by the name of Venom, which I found very interesting. And he was someone who worked for Star Fortress, spelled S, full stop, T, full stop, A, full stop, R, full stop, Fortress. And it makes one wonder, what is his connection to, like, some of the revolutionary tactics that have happened in this world? Because that's the impression the story gave, that maybe he was a type of revolutionary trying to seek some peace during a war that took place. I think he'd also be good for a type of character to put in, like, an old war type comic. That's the impression I got from the character, and I'm wondering if that's something that the writer was trying to get across. This is where the story got a 7 out of 10, to which I thought the story was worth $1.50. So a big thanks to all my subscribers. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Until then, let's keep it colourful.